In this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 things you should not do if you want to get views and subscribers on YouTube this year. The 2 most important YouTube metrics for growing your channel in 2021, and some breaking news when it comes to YouTube, social media, and e-commerce that you need to know. So let's get straight into it. If you haven't seen, there's some new articles from Business Insider as well as Forbes and eMarketer. And what those revealed was that the onset of the coronavirus pandemic has ramped up social media usage across all platforms, and there's no sign of decline anytime soon. So if you've been asking yourself, man, is it too late to get into this YouTube thing? Is it too late to get on social media? The answer is no. You know, the world has shifted and there's been a massive surge of growth on these platforms, which is a huge opportunity for you to grow this year. Now, listen to this. Over 3 billion people use social media, but nearly 150 more have joined compared to pre-pandemic estimates. So there's been this mass 150 people. Because again, you're like, who's my viewer? Who's going to watch my content? Who's going to be paying attention to my channel? Like 150 new people plus the other 3 billion people that are online, right? So that begins to like widen the amount of people there is to reach. You might be like, man, competition is rising. Yes, but opportunity is rising as well. But then of course, the second question is always like, man, how do I turn this into a business? And maybe you want to work from home, be your own boss, write your own checks. When it comes to, you know, building your influence on YouTube, this article revealed on eMarketer that the most consequential digital story of 2020 was the widespread embrace of e-commerce during the pandemic, unexpectedly accelerating the channel's progress by almost 2 years. And when it says the channel, it means e-commerce progress was accelerated by 2 years. What does that mean? It means that the adoption of people shopping online, clicking Amazon links, clicking affiliate links, purchasing things online has been accelerated by, listen, they estimated that e-commerce was going to be a nearly $700 billion industry. It is now over 100 billion higher because of the pandemic. So if you're saying, man, how do I build a high influence reaching people and high profit YouTube channel? This is the time to be doing it. And I get it. Like, it might be frustrating. Like, how do I beat the algorithm? How do I get the confidence to be on camera? You know, how do I overcome a lot of those things? But my friends, this is the data. And it just shows us that there's massive opportunity to be growing your influence with YouTube and monetizing in multiple different strategic ways. But how do you do that? In this video, I'm going to share 3 tips and specifically some things you don't want to do. But hit like if you're pumped about the future of YouTube and building your influence. And these are 3 things you should not do if you want to get views this year on YouTube. The first mistake is you want to avoid long form content if you want to reach new people, okay? You want to avoid long form content. Now, I take this with like a grain of salt. I'm not saying, don't misquote me, that you should never do long form content. I'm saying if you want to reach new people, and if you want to grow this year and trigger growth, you should avoid long form content. So I did a quick search and I typed in how to get motivated on YouTube. And the top 4 results are 5 minutes long, 8 minutes long, 12 minutes long, and 16 minutes long. Okay, just one little test. But here's my thing. You should be doing shorter content, especially when you're just starting. If we look at the top videos on Think Media of history, 3.4 million views, 3 million views, 2.8 million, 2.4 million, 2 million, 2 million views. These are all like basically 2 million plus viewed videos. The longest one is 19 minutes. There's 14, there's 15, there's 11, there's 7, and there's 7. So I just want to challenge you. Shorter is better. For some of you vloggers, I don't know if you've noticed, but like Casey Neistat's vlogs lately, 7 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 9 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes. And so you gotta be, I think, if you're starting out, and why is this? Because like nobody knows you yet, nobody trusts you yet. And I believe this is a huge trend going into 2021 that people have shorter attention spans and they'll maybe invest longer amounts of time later, but it's going to start shorter. Like you do a search, you see 3 top options. If all look decent and one is like 8 minutes, one is 18, and one is 45, I'm clicking on 8 first. Like if I, all things created equal, like it's too busy. I got too much to do. I got too many other YouTube videos to watch. I want to challenge you, avoid long form content when you're starting out. And it kind of makes me think about like dating. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever done speed dating before? Tell me in the comments. Have you ever been on a bad date, a weird date? Have you ever been, you sat across and you're like, what the heck? How did I get into this? That's why people do speed dating, because they're like, okay, like quickly I can make my decision whether or not. People are speed dating you on YouTube. Do you realize that? That's like, it's what we're doing. We're like, okay, if the hook didn't get me, if like they said something that was like, that was sort of sketchy, like whatever, we speed date. We want the short amount. We speed date the person. Then we go, oh, this is interesting. Oh, wow. The unfolding of this video is keeping my attention. But when I think about that, when you're starting to date somebody, you're not trying to go on vacation for 2 weeks with that person, right? Like when you first start dating someone, you're like, listen, can we just like, let's get coffee? That's like date one. Second date, hey, how about dinner and a movie? If you're like, hey, could we do like a whole day together? Dude, I haven't even met you yet. We could walk the dog. We could work out together. I'm not going to sweat around you. Like, oh, we just met. Let's work out, walk the dog. Let's watch a movie, do a puzzle. Then we could cuddle. You're like, dude, I freaking just, okay. So shorter dates on YouTube when you're starting out, because you may have been in this situation before. Ladies, you're sitting across from a dude and he's just going on and on and on and on and on about his career, asking you no questions. He's like, as an accountant, I really enjoy, because you're wasting the person's time, or they're like, how did I get into this? And they're gonna bail. So don't try to start with 4-hour YouTube videos, or even necessarily live streams or longer form content. By the way, even if you go live, be short, be brief, be bright, be fun, and be done when you're starting out. So we have an upcoming YouTube strategy workshop, and this is one of the first strategies. I'm going to be going through 10 on the workshop, but shorter videos are better than longer videos, especially when you're starting out. And in 2021, basically on this YouTube strategy workshop, I'm going to be revealing our Think Media playbook for 2021. And this is one of our pillars. We're going to be pushing for shorter videos. You'll be like, well, I see long videos from you all the time. Fair. It's not either or, but I'm saying if you really want to get reach, you're going to want to go shorter. So how do you do that? A couple tips: trim the fluff, get to the point, half short and twice strong. I want to challenge you. If you have a video in your timeline and you're editing it and it's 13 minutes, try to make it 7. Like try to really cut it in half and watch how results can change. And then I think a goal is 3 to 15 minutes, especially if you're starting out. Shorter definitely is more powerful than longer, especially when somebody doesn't know you yet, because they're going to want to speed date you. So let me ask you, what do you think is the ideal video length? Like, let me know, type that in the comments. And how long are your videos? Do you think they're too long? Could they be shorter? Could you experiment? I see some vloggers that we coach, and sometimes they got 18, 19, 24, 26-minute videos. I'm like, man, experiment with 5-minute videos. And it might be like, that kind of cooks my noodle. I don't know if I could get it down to 5. That's the challenge. Try to make it half short and twice strong. And let me know in the comments your answer to that question. But hey, you are watching the Coffee with Cannell show. And these are 3 things you should not do if you want to get views this year. Smash like if you're getting value. And if we're just meeting, my name is Sean Cannell, and my passion is helping people grow their influence with YouTube. Grown a couple different YouTube channels to 1 million subscribers, a couple to 100,000. And my biggest passion and what I'm most proud of is our students. We've helped a lot of people grow from 0 to that silver play button, or from 0 to full-time income and full-time freedom online. So if you want more content like that, make sure you click subscribe on this video. But let's get into the second mistake, and that is lazy titles and thumbnails. Man, lazy titles and thumbnails. You should not cut corners when it comes to titling your videos or creating your thumbnails. And you might be like, this isn't new information, but let's dive a little bit deeper, okay? Now, the 2 most important metrics on YouTube in 2021, and this is worth like writing down, like screenshotting, like really paying attention here, right? Are number 1, click-through rate. These are the 2 most. This is it. This is it. It's click-through rate. Are people clicking through your videos when your video is shown to somebody and recommended, or even if they type in a search and you get to rank for a while? Because by the way, when you put out new content, YouTube tests it. It puts it places. So if people see it, but they don't click on it, you lose. And that affects your click-through rate. So the higher the click-through rate, the better. On the workshop, we'll go deeper into like all kinds, like what's the best click-through rate? I mean, it depends on the niche. It depends on all kinds of things. But you just need to know, number one, click-through rate, the most important metric. How's that going to be influenced? We'll talk about it in a second. And the second one is AVD, average view duration. Okay, average view duration. This video recently crushed a little Christmas special that Omar and Heather put out. And the average view duration, you see the green arrow there, green arrow is up. Our typical average view duration is 3 to 4 minutes, a little over 4 minutes. This one was 7 minutes and 13 seconds. Thus, it says views are up as more people are watching longer than usual, more watch time, more average view duration. So your question is, how do I increase my click-through rate and how do I increase my average view duration? How do I know these are the most important metrics? Because this is what YouTube's telling us. When you look at your top videos in this period, this is actually looking at our top videos over the last year on our channel, Think Media. It says, here's the amount of views and here's the average view duration. So what are we trying to increase? We're trying to say, how can we increase the average view duration on our videos? So the strategy number 2 is increase click-through rate. And CTR means click-through rate. How do you do that? 3 ways: title, topic, and thumbnail. So title, and we're going to actually be going deeper. Some of you jumped into the starter kit and there's details in the description. That sale's going on a while longer. We have our title guide. You got to get really good, really not just writing titles, but understanding. Here's the thing to research: headlines. It's almost like blog headlines, newspaper headlines. Like, as a YouTube strategist and as somebody that wants to start really dominating on YouTube and stop dabbling, in 2021, if you walk to the grocery store, Sean, I never go to the grocery store. It's a lockdown. I haven't been there. Okay. But if you do, you know how there's all these magazines there, like Cosmopolitan, like I can't believe Prince Henry and are they going to get a divorce? There's all these, look at headlines, the magazine headlines, the magazine in 4 words, they'll say 36 ways to get him to notice you. Pretty powerful if you want him to notice you. You start looking, those type of thinking is what you want to master. It's not just like how to write a good title, but really how to grab attention with words is something to really think about. Title, thumbnail, thinking about your thumbnail design. And then the biggest one though, that nobody ever talks about it. They just it's title and thumbnail. No, it's topic as well. The question is, what video topics would your target audience be most likely to click on? That's a powerful question. What video topics would your target audience be most likely to click on? Because here, if it's the right topic and the right information is on the other side of that title and thumbnail, people can forgive. I don't care if it's not my favorite thumbnail, but I really want to see that information. I really want to see the promise to that entertaining headline, that curiosity creating title. I really want to see what's on the other side. So you got to know that. And we're going to be going deep on that on the YouTube strategy workshop, as far as coming up with the right video topics for your niche, your category, your topic. Mistake number 3, hit like if you're getting video. Ignoring video editing. Ignoring video editing. Remember these videos? The top videos on Think Media, between 3.4 million views and 1.9 on all of these guys. These are all big hitters. These are some heavy hitters. All of these videos have been edited. Right now I'm doing this training in a live stream setting. This video might do all right, but this isn't going to get 1 million views. It's knowing different content formats. I'm talking about if you want to get views in 2021, you want to blow up, you want to get noticed, you want to grow your channel, you want to get the awareness. Listen, you can do this show, this is called Coffee with Cannell. You can do this at other times. It's another content format so I can connect with you at a deeper level. But if you want to blow up, you got to focus on video editing. And all these videos have been edited so that they're sharp, their attention, they get to the point, trim the fluff. So strategy number 3 is you got to increase average view duration. AVD, you got to increase average view duration. Okay. So one way to do that is to improve your video hooks, to really master and study at the beginning of a video. How are you going to open and how are you going to change the way you open videos What are you going to say? What are you going to show? How are you going to, in a way, quote unquote, sell the viewer on watching the rest of the video? Because if you can't keep their attention for the beginning, I do this all the time. I click on people's videos and I'm stunned by how many people don't know this. The majority don't. Like great people. And this is why we've got our Video Ranking Academy program and different things, because we just help people like kind of see this. But like my friend, I was watching his content and I wanted to learn about tax strategies, but I wanted him to like give me an idea of what was coming up, like at least somewhere in the first, hopefully 50 seconds of the videos, if not the first 5 minutes. And he was saying about everything other than like actually selling me on, do I actually already know this? Or are you going to share some new stuff? You got to open up your video powerfully. So think about how you can improve your video hooks. Trim the fluff with video editing. Take time to trim the fluff. If you shoot for an hour, this is why when you shoot for an hour, you edit it down to 7 minutes. You trim the fluff for video editing. And that's the power of YouTube and video, because you are serving the viewer by putting that time into video editing, getting to the point fast. And then use B-roll. And B-roll could be images. You know, in a way, I'm using B-roll. You know, I'm actually using slides, and this is a PowerPoint, and this software is called StreamYard. Think Media Tools, if you're ever curious.com. If you're ever curious about the tools we use, that's thinkmediatools.com. So we use things like this. Hopefully, like things are flying around. Big, small, Sean's like, you know, try to think about how to make things more visually stimulating and more interesting. And B-roll, of course, would be those clips. What does B-roll mean? A-roll, when you film, is like if you were doing talking head, and there you are. Hey, Sean here. Welcome to my video. Powerful hook to keep you watching. Hi. And why do you talk in the A-roll? B-roll is what you would lay on top of that. That's the A-roll. The B-roll, the clips above that on your video editor timeline. And when you talk about, wow, social media is blowing up, you know, you see like a little graphic of like an arrow going up. And of course, you've seen this in videos you're watching, but there's certain things when you really understand, man, how do I keep viewer attention? That is definitely one way to power up your videos. So if you found these 3 strategies valuable, hit like. I'm going to be sharing 10 of them. So it's the Think Media YouTube Playbook, 10 strategies for rapidly growing your YouTube channel and getting more views, on our upcoming YouTube strategy workshop, which is all about the new rules of YouTube success and creating your stress-free YouTube growth plan for winning on YouTube in 2021. And so this is coming up January 2nd. There'll be a replay available for a while. And I'm excited. It's a 4-hour training. Heather Torres is going to be doing a session. Omar El Takori, Tony Ariola, and myself doing a couple sessions. Really, if you wanted to look inside of Think Media's playbook, I think we got about 4 million views in 2020. And we also, of course, learned a lot. You know, we don't think we know everything. Like we test a lot of strategies. We're like YouTube scientists. We have a lot of wins, a lot of results. We also make mistakes, and you get to go further faster by learning from our different team and our content creators and everything we're going to do and the changes that we're going to make in light of how the algorithm is acting and all those types of things. If that's of interest to you, there's a link in the description down below. The best way to get a ticket is to actually, it's part of the starter kit. Like, so our YouTube starter kit, there's a sale that we've been doing for the holidays that's ending very soon. And so if you're interested and you found these tips valuable, then just you could grab the starter kit at tubestarterkit.com. I'll put a link to the ticket as well, but it costs like 3 times as much just to buy a ticket to the strategy workshop. So if you want like our title guide, our thumbnail trainings, our video ideas, our 51 money-making ideas, some tips on gear, and a ticket to our New Year strategy workshop, that's all included with the YouTube starter kit, tubestarterkit.com, if you are interested in that. And you could see all the links in the description down below. And I cannot wait to help you go further, faster, growing your YouTube channel in 2021. If you're ready to shift from dabbling and you really want to start dominating, investing in yourself, investing in your strategy, iron sharpens iron, getting around others that are crushing it, getting around other people and learning from not just myself, but even Video Ranking Academy students. Like we have so many students in different niches doing so many cool things, getting incredible results. So it's going to be an awesome event. If you can't be there live, you can watch the replay and really get your game on, your hustle right, your grind on, your focus fixed, your napkin strategy for winning on YouTube in 2021 written out. We're also going to help you plan an entire year of content in 1 hour. So think about the leverage of that. And not just like random content, but strategic video topics. So you can boost that AVD and that CTR. So anyways, check out all the details in the description down below. This is the Coffee with Cannell show where I bring you on to talk about your questions regarding YouTube. But I hope you're doing well. And I just got back from the Seattle area, Christmas with family. And my son is a little over 3 months old now. And life is crazy. New parent, trying to sleep. My wife's amazing. She's very gracious. He's a pretty chill baby. We're pretty grateful for him. If you haven't met him yet, here he is. There he is, Sean Bradley Cannell. There's my wife, Sonia. And homie's actually about like a week over 3 months now. And we are with hearts full and sleep low. We are pressing on to the future. But hey, Coffee with Cannell, let's get it rocking. We got Gary Smith on today. Gary, who are you? What's your channel about, and how can I help?
Well, what's going on, Sean? Well, I started out doing sneakers. Really into sneakers, but kind of on my behalf, a little bit lazy with it. Honestly. But you know, a lot of times when I'm into like camera gear or trying to see what lens does what, like the M50 I recently purchased. But my question was for you was, what do you think? I know you have the starter kit, but what about the Academy? Which one would you think would be ideal for right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think that anyone who's super serious about YouTube, Video Ranking Academy is going to help you grow. It's just, I think, different opportunities of an investment. You know, the starter kit is on sale. It's $37. In about a week, it goes up to $97. So now's the definite time to get it.
Okay.
And it's that jump start because, of course, one way or another, our destination for you and our entire community is the same. We want to help 10,000 purpose-driven people create a full-time living doing what they love while making a difference in the world with YouTube. Okay. And so the starter kit is to get started, to get going, and a ton of valuable resources. Even actually, if you're established, Video Ranking Academy, our current special on it is $997. On our website, it's a $3,000 program. So a definitely different level of a price investment. But when it comes to Video Ranking Academy, it's not, you know, just a bundle of resources. It is a ton of video trainings that you can take at your own pace. It is like an 80-page workbook PDF that you can print out, walks you through everything. It is the private Facebook group that is highly engaged and highly active. A lot of people have been a part of Facebook groups. They might notice like, okay, there's no one here. And one of the ways we're able to make Video Ranking Academy so dynamic is because Think Media is 13 people full time. And so we do welcome parties on Zoom, and Chris and Alina host those, and people get to know each other inside of VRA. Tony does weekly tips of the week. We do monthly the VRA show with other members in there. Every month we do Q&A with myself or another one of our certified YouTube coaches. So the level of training there that you get is really just out of this world. And I kind of think about it, you know, $1,000 is a big investment. And that's the current price. And the price always has been going up over the years because we keep adding to it and keeping it current. But at the same time, if I was to go over to my community college here, or my college, UNLV in Vegas, that is if I audited one marketing class, that's how much it would cost. And that one marketing class wouldn't even be close to like what Video Ranking Academy is. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you'd get like the professor who's not generated multiple 7 figures online, and who's and not hating. I'm just saying, like, you're going to go through, like, study some books on marketing. Whereas in this case, you have this living kind of breathing organism. And in the future, we're going to be making Video Ranking Academy like Netflix, meaning it'll be continuity. Like you can't pay once for Netflix and get it for life. But right now, the special on Video Ranking Academy is lifetime access. So I believe it's the absolute best investment anybody can make in their YouTube channel if they want to, if they're really serious about it. But we also want to give people time to plan for that or save for that or start with a starter kit or even just hang out on our podcast and everything else to get some momentum. And Video Ranking Academy is there. However, right now is always the best time to jump in, because I remember when we first started it years ago, it was about 60% cheaper, but it gets stronger. We just rebuilt the whole members area. And man, we're so passionate about how world-class it is. And we're also building out a wall of student result. Like we actually already have the website. I don't know what the link is, but Melissa's been building that out. I don't know of any program who's actually helped more people get crazy results. And results are not just silver play buttons or gold play buttons. I think about Tanya Eliza, one of our students. I was just connecting with her. She's doing, multiple millions a year. Like, so some people think, oh, how do I just get more views? That's not always the thing. Like there's people with all types of different niches, industries, sizes of channel, 30,000 subscribers. A guy is doing 300K a year. Like, so it kind of, that's also the thing. It's a program that'll help you become business minded about your YouTube channel. And that's different than, someone that's just like, let's just get views. Like it's really about the holistic picture of how do I build a real business and a real, powerful, high impact and high influence and high income YouTube channel. So those are kind of the difference. I hope that makes sense.
Okay. Can I ask you before you let go? I don't want to take up your time, but I was going to ask you, so with the payment for $9.97, I think I saw some today was like $97 a month that you can use. Is that option available or?
100%. And then that one is, that's just like spreading the payment out over a year's time.
Okay.
And then again, there's like no hidden fees or anything else. Again, it's just a payment plan. And once it's paid off based on the current offer, lifetime access. Okay. And I think that's what blows a lot of our community's mind, because once it's paid off, people are like, dude, I'm in like year 2. We first created it back in 2015. And, we're also obsessed with keeping it current. One of the biggest weaknesses with online courses that I've seen is people make it like once based on information that's old and they don't keep it updated. And one of the ways we're able to do that too is, again, because it's a team effort. And now you see what Think Media is doing, Nolan, Omar, Tony, Heather. The strength in numbers, like teamwork makes the dream work. So we have so many different perspectives and contributors to making sure that it's the best YouTube course in the world.
Okay. Appreciate you, Sean. I really do, man. I'm always seeing you on YouTube. I always talking about the camera gear videos. So I appreciate everything.
Appreciate you, Gary. Thanks so much for coming on Coffee with Cannell.
All right.
Cheers. My man. Hey, we're doing Coffee with Cannell. If you got a question about business, life, growing on YouTube, then drop it or jump on. We've got Heather helping, and there's a link to join. The room is full, but we will be moving people in and out of the room so that we might be able to get a couple more in here. We have Linnea. Did I say your name right? How's it going?
Hi, it's Lelena, but close.
Lelena.
Yeah. And my channel is Thimble and Plume, and I'm already in a small niche of, I do historical costuming, and I've even niched down further for my channel, which one of the issues I'm running into is I am getting, it seems like, I'm getting, when I first release a video, I'm getting good CTR, I'm getting good click through, and then YouTube starts sharing it out. And I'm watching as my numbers start going boop, 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 downward. And then part of it is because now you can look and see, like, it's playing after this video. I'm like, well, the person watching that video is going to have no interest in my video. So that, I'm like, but I also know, is it my thumbnails? There's so many things that could go into it. I'm relatively new. I've got, I think, 19 videos up right now. So, but I've been working on my thumbnails, working on my titles. So, and then I've been told that my, like people, when they watch my video, the ones that are interested, they seem to they stay in for at least most of it, and I've experimented with different times and stuff like that, and just getting all the meat in there and none of the fluff. So
brilliant. Well, first of all, thank you so much for coming on. And I want to commend you for how sharp you are in studying your data. Like, what gets measured gets improved. So the fact that you're looking at your click-through rate to start and you're seeing it go down, but here's the facts you got to know. So first of all, if you release a video during that time, the click-through rate is going to be highest because it is going to be clicked on by people who know you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they serve it to your audience first. It absolutely should go and always will go down as YouTube releases it to more people. And it's just how high can it hold on? So the confusing thing, for example, I showed a video on Think Media that is crushing with only a 5% click-through rate, where somebody might be like, well, my click-through rates are 18%. Well, you also might only have 100 subscribers and like all of them click on it and so usually when your channel's smaller and just starting, we saw that with our Think Marketing channel where we stream Coffee with Cannell, is we were getting like 12, 14%, 27% click-through rates. But when you check out Think Media content, it is being served to super wide audiences. So this is kind of a cool case study because this video that Omar did, and it was kind of a team effort to work on this thumbnail. They talk about the eyes, but you see the big eyes there of like sort of the ET sort of vibe looking up at the phone. Of course, the trending topic, and this is the second tip I would give you, like at some point, it's not just the click-through rate going down as YouTube sharing it. Ask yourself, how wide of a market or how wide of an audience does this video apply to?
Right.
And what I mean specifically too is we strategically put out this video of how to use your smartphone as a webcam. That actually applies to almost the whole world going through a pandemic because almost everybody already has a smartphone. That question may cross their mind or that video gets recommended. Like, I didn't even know you could do that. And so on the flip side, if we're like best lenses for the Canon M50, oh, that video didn't get, dude, that's super niche. Like you know what I mean? Like you have to already have that camera. You have to even care. Like you may not even want a camera. You may be smartphone only. So this kind of goes into the idea of topic itself. And so anyway, saying that when we look at the click-through rate here, you could see that what YouTube does, first of all, you want to see this impressions. And this is YouTube serving it to more people. And as more impressions are given out, this is what's crazy is we actually see, okay, YouTube's going to show this to 40,000 people a day. Now it's going up. It showed this to 53,000 people on December 29th, 2020. And out of those 53,000 people, 5% clicked through. So the topic stayed strong. The title stayed strong. The thumbnail stayed strong because this is a wide enough video idea to keep getting clicked on. So let's bring it back to your channel. I would say that, yes, I do think you could make improvements, if you will. We all could, but you can make improvements to your thumbnails. In some cases, you maybe ask yourself, you could experiment with you in the thumbnail and not in the thumbnail. Because sometimes people want the promise. This is the genius of like the tasty cooking channels.
Right.
Like it's not about a person, it's about the result of the recipe and just seeing the hands. And like your hand sewing stitches, for example, like if I'm going to learn that, but that's something to experiment with. Of course, maybe I like your thumbnails, but I think sometimes less busy. So these ones with you cut out are definitely less busy. So than the ones that maybe have this, more things in the background and simple fonts, but you're definitely hitting that. And then of course, experimenting with your content and a lot of stuff just talked about in this training. And as I land the plane, what I would say, overall is you're also just 19 in. Like,
right.
You gotta just clap it up because Lelena is crushing it because you started like that's so early in the journey. Like it took me like hundreds of videos of just wandering in the desert before I ever started to get clarity on where I should even go to find the promised land. So you're doing great. You're leveling up as you go. Small tweaks lead to giant peaks when it comes to those tests. But I think the real needle mover for you is not saying every video should try to be the widest audience possible, but that there's some growth topics. Like how can what is true to your niche and your personality serve a wider market and be a gateway into your content? Is that helpful at all?
Right. Yeah, actually. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking. I just have to figure out what that is. And that's
100%. And I love that. And I think what I would encourage, or just a couple additional tips, or the MO, the mode of operation to do that is you kind of, we want to keep your, it's I'd call it alchemy would be the strategy. Alchemy, because alchemy, right, is when you do alchemy in metals, you combine multiple different things. You do alchemy. Alchemy is news meets what's trending in kind of your niche, you know, with historical. So like what maybe hits a headline, what movie rebrings historical, you know, like a sewing to the forefront, while at the same time, knowledge, like you're already ready, but you tie it. So that this really comes into like positioning, kind of like psychology, general marketing. And so, and on the one hand, you might sit down and be like, I want to force this, but I almost feel like that's why I call it like an MO, like a mode of operation. It almost becomes a lifestyle of the content creator, of like, just like maybe blogs you're following, the people you follow that maybe are kind of in adjacent niches, and you end up having a collection. And the way I would do this is it's the people I learned from about SEO, the people I learned from about e-commerce, the blogs I follow, eMarketer, Business Insider, just like I pulled into this video. And then obviously doing this for years and years and years. And then eventually, if you will, inspiration hits you. It's like, okay, cool. That's an angle. And then, you know, looking at just trends of what's happening. And I'll be honest, I think media, we just had a discussion with the team. I was like, we kind of missed the content we should have been creating about Zoom, because we made our Zoom smartphone video like 4, 5, 6 months after we actually should have had it come out. So timing matters as well. Like as soon as the whole world got locked down, we should have been like full speed of like basic webcam, live streaming, Zoom, because that was what was happening at that now moment. Everybody watching, you want to be thinking about not just the right topic, but you really also want to be talking about it and posting it at the right time. That actually, that's why you're one video away from changing your whole YouTube channel, because that one video can really blow up exposure of your channel, yourself, awareness of you to a whole nother level. And never be confused that a viral video is going to quote unquote change your life, because you might get a 1 million viewed video and it may only translate to 10,000 subscribers. But that's crazy. You're at 121. You know what I mean? And that's literally everything we just talked about. Easier said than done, but the alchemy of that one video at the right time, boom, it blows up. And it might be 557,000 views, but then it kind of builds a whole core audience of super fans, like my friend says, and that kind of puts you off to the races. And the tension you walk is dreaming about that, thinking about that, planning about that, trying that, and it may or may not work. You know, it does well, but like it doesn't. And then just doing the day-to-day. It's both and. It's always going for, if you will, the big hits, the grand slams and the home runs, and also the base hits, and just doing the basics, just like you're doing, and being super consistent. And I believe you're going to crush it, because you're off to an incredible start.
Well, I have Video Ranking Academy to thank for, I mean, I've been going through it, and it's helped me with, and I'm going through it slowly, and I'm applying it as I go, which some people do it that way. Some people just do the whole thing, but it's really given me a lot to really, the only reason why I am where I'm at now is because of the lessons I've learned in VRA. So.
Well, awesome. Hey, I appreciate that. And thank you so much for the feedback. I appreciate you. Happy New Year. I hope your holidays were great. And I look forward to crushing all 2021 in VRA. I'll see you in there.
All right. See ya.
All right. Take care. Hey, what was your takeaway from that one, Coffee with Cannell family? Did you get any aha moments there? Are you talking about the right topics? What was the takeaway? Was there anything valuable for you? Let me know. Hit me with any comments you have in the live chat. We're going to bring another guest on here in just a second. But also smash like if you've been getting some value. Is daily uploads a good thing? Yes and no. Thanks so much. Have a good, you're like, okay, well, that just covered everything. I mean, that's like, well, here's what we would suggest. You should upload at least one video a week. Secondly, 2021, it's quality over quantity. I believe that, because I see too many people doing daily crap. Was that too bold? I mean, that was like, it's just rushed. Like you get onto this treadmill of like daily's going to be the thing. And it's 7 terrible videos as opposed to 1 really strong video. So that's, I think, the strategy. I think it's much more powerful in a noisy world with so many options of what to watch. And I'm not trying to say you got to like over stress about the production value. I'm saying the effort it took to do 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, put more editing into 1 really great video, put more research and study into 1 good video, put more filming and more B-roll into 1 good video. So if you can if you can keep quality high, then it's okay, I think, to increase quantity. You might say, well, Sean, if you pay attention, Think Media uploads 5 or 6 videos a week. Yeah. And I think they're high quality. And how do we do that? Multiple people do it. Like, I don't know if you've noticed that, but like, this isn't even one person with the help of an editor. It's multiple people. Like the way I believe we pull off quality and quantity is because we're in a different season. My friend John Acuff says, never compare your beginnings to somebody else's middle. Someone just said in the comments when I suggested on some live stream somewhere that you should focus on 1 a week and quality over quantity. And they go, yeah, but Gary Vee says that you should actually upload more quantity and I said you should focus on 1 social media platform before you focus on a whole bunch of different social media platforms. And they were like, yeah, but Gary Vee says you should be on all of the social media platforms and upload like over 100 pieces of content a day. So I replied in the comments and I was like, yeah, well, Gary Vee also said, right? I was like, yeah, he does say that. And Gary Vee also has 20 people working for him full time on his personal brand, publishing all that content. And Gary Vee also started on 1 platform called Twitter in 2008. And he spent 8 hours a day on 1 platform called Twitter in 2008, DMing and responding and biz deving with people and answering their questions about wine to grow his show in 2008 called Wine Library TV. And so don't compare your beginning to somebody else's middle, even their strategies. Come on. You want to focus, like you want to do the things that people did when they started, not what they're doing today. If you try and upload, I don't even think it's possible. I would never try to upload daily if I was doing this by myself. I would get 1, maybe 2 videos out a week, depending on the systems and the things that I had in place before I scaled beyond that. We're on every social media platform now, pretty much. I just got in trouble. Heather was like, why aren't you on Clubhouse? And I was busy, so I didn't actually give her a longer response because I was like, because I'm freaking focused on YouTube. Like, you know, like angry and like sleep deprived. And I know I need to be there, but then again, do I? Because I will be, maybe. But like, we've got so much deploying. I'm worried about the YouTube strategy workshop. I'm worried about not being a jack of all trades, but being a master of 1. And then once you master 1, it buys you the time to expand out. And so then you could start uploading daily. Let me ask you the question though. Do you think you should upload daily? Do you think it's more powerful to upload quality content rather than quantity of content in 2021? There's exceptions to every rule. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do Vlogmas and upload 30 days in a row. That could be one of the smartest things you could do ever, because sometimes uploading volume of content helps you grow, helps you get faster. I'm not saying that seasons or sprints, content sprints, or even the learning and the development and the skills that you build from doing daily for a while. I daily vlogged with my wife for about 60 days and quit after that, but learned so much and grew so much and experimented so much and got to test more titles and test more thumbnails. So there's reasons to do things. But if it comes down to the most rock solid strategy period, Cannell Elena. I think if you could look at Cannell Elena, she only has like 8 videos total, 3 million subs, 20 million views. And if you just had a portion of that success, she spends time making the video quality, thinking about the story, thinking about the structure, editing the video. If you really study the people that are really getting views on YouTube, they put out high quality videos. And if they put out more videos, they keep the quality high. But I'd love your take on that question as the like button is smashed on Coffee with Cannell year-end edition. we got Matt on the show. My man, Matt, how's it going? Tell me where you're from, what your channel's all about, and how can I help?
Hey, I'm from Fargo, North Dakota, and I am just recently started a nonprofit called Without End. And I've been watching a lot of your videos, probably to my wife's annoyance. I watch you guys a lot. I've been trying to learn a lot. But I started a nonprofit, and I want to be able to utilize YouTube to organically build a community, and in turn have that get to a point where monetization can help provide the organization's cost. That way I can keep donations at 100% going to the people that we want to help serve.
Tell me
And
about
so,
Without End. What's the nonprofit do?
So the dream is that every person on the planet would have access to clean water, safe shelter, and proper nutrition. The way we want to do that, and the dream that I had in doing that, was by having 1 million people automate $1 a month, and then using that money to help meet that need. And the idea is that we can all be involved and not have to dig too deep in our wallets to make a difference.
Man, I love that. So awesome vision. Love what you're doing. Show some love in the comments for everything Matt's doing. Okay, so there's really two questions when it comes to YouTube, and this is relevant for a nonprofit, B2B, business to business, or B2C, business to kind of consumer. And the question is, like, who is the content for? And if you're watching this video, you should be thinking, who is the content for? Is the content potentially, and so let me just use a church as an example. Is the content on a church's channel for other pastors? A church is not a business, but that's B2B. It's like for other church leaders. Or is the content on the church's channel for the parishioners, the people that attend the church? That's like B2C. The people that maybe don't care about the leadership or about the problems that a pastor has. They want that end result of encouragement, the teaching, etc. So your question becomes, who is the content for? And I thought together we could just actually look up, Charity Water, and it looks like they're probably not super active on YouTube. They just kind of uploading consistently. What I see here is what a lot of nonprofits do is they kind of use their YouTube channel as just a repository of content. Like, this is a campaign video, like just something about our local partners in action. Like, that's not a well-written title. Charity Water, Our Story, like, that's awesome. They probably emailed that out to their list. It's probably their most updated video. But what ends up happening is you have to ask yourself, like, what value does this add to the end user? And who's it for? Is it just as a way to educate donors, which is fine, but they may or may not want to continue to watch? These are maybe hard questions to answer when it comes to nonprofits, but one question to ask is, what kind of content could I create that our ideal person that would partner with us would want to watch every week? Could I create a show that actually adds value to the end user? This is the ultimate strategy, I believe, that in and of itself is valuable, and it is used as top level awareness for what we're doing as a charity. That would be what I would do. And that is a deep conversation if we were to potentially architect what that is. But it could be as simple, it's been done a lot, but it could be as simple as like, it could be like almost a world news show, kind of a world news video podcast, where somebody listens for the news and it's brought to you by Without End. And if you want to join us in our cause, but yet there's a reason for that person to watch, AKA listen, every single week. It also could be something like 5 minutes from the front lines or something. So that would be the thing to experiment with, because most nonprofits fall into, if you will, the trap of just kind of having a YouTube channel that's like about us, some good videos, no doubt about it. And Charity Water is like one of the biggest, like, right. And so, you know, one of their stories got 14 million views in about, they may have, let's see, in less than a year. But I wouldn't be surprised if they put money on this, because I think at some point they may do some, you know, who knows. And that, because that's actually a lot of views and not a ton of comments. So that looks like paid ads, which is also a whole thing to think about eventually, that reinvestment into awareness. And so do you have any, what's your next question is in response to those ideas?
You know, so I was, you know, one of the videos you talked about like what, looking for what people are asking. And, you know, I'm looking at, you know, like when people trying to figure out my target audience, which ideally is everybody, right? You know, just getting the idea of building a community of people that want to just donate $1 a month to do that, to help meet those needs. But then trying to figure out how do I build that community online? And I'm looking at like, all right, let's see what people like. You talked about searching like how-tos. And so I was like, okay, how to change the world, how to be generous, how to give, how to, you know, XYZ. And there's just not a lot there. And I know that one of the videos you said you had two things: either you're onto something or there's nothing there. And so
no, you're right. And that would be the wrong strategy in this case. The right strategy, and here's what, like, let's go an entirely out of the box example, because you hit it on the nail. You did your research. So props, because that's the key. Before building the tower, you want to count the cost of building and really think, like, is there even the right target audience here? But let me ask you this. If Think Media wanted to either partner with and or support a nonprofit, which we do, called Compassion International, but we actually, now that I think about it, like, haven't really tied that into our content. If we took our traffic and periodically in our videos said, hey, and by the way, during the holidays this season, just so you know, something that's near and dear to our heart is a charity and nonprofit called Without End. And actually the vision is this. And if you give $1, you can just click the link. It's just $1 partnering a month. The world's going to get clean water and nutrition. And if that's something you'd be willing to join Omar and Heather and I doing, can you click the link in the description below, and you could be a part of that. Question: do you think we could get some people to sign up?
Yes.
Yes, because we have influence.
Yeah.
There is awareness. It would touch some people's hearts, not everybody's. Some people would be, and so watch the math equation. Influence period on how to make a video with iMovie, on how to film with your iPhone, on the best camera for YouTube. So when you think about building a media company, like, what actually could be the thing that's the YouTube channel? You should go after something that is a proven, AKA profitable niche, because you want profit money for the mission. Does that make sense? So you actually don't get necessarily so myopic on how to change the world, but you also, I mean, it could be called like the pizza review show, like the Barstool Sports Guy. You know what I mean? Like, you might start something that is fun. It may be more direct, because maybe you have an interview show, as I discussed earlier, with like world leaders, nonprofit leaders, or just whatever, maybe. And that's maybe more like super in that world. Or you just have a pure, if you will, entertainment show or education show on personal finance. And personal finance, a lot of competition, also a lot of channels. It's proven it can generate money. And one of the things you teach during the whole time is, one of the most important parts of personal finance that I actually believe is giving and generosity. It keeps your heart in the right place. And with the money you're saving and the tips you're learning on this channel, like, would you join me in partnering with our nonprofit called Without End? Just $1 a month. If you've watched this channel, like, I've saved you more than that. And you even have more passive income than that. Would you consider joining me? Makes it so you wouldn't even think being personal finance, but yet that could build the influence. And then you can send that influence potentially wherever you want that was a pretty decent example as far as like a way that, you know, even kind of ties in. But that's the way I'd be thinking. And then, by the way, on your target audience, mistakes you can make, of course, we say it all the time. Like if you try and reach everybody, you end up reaching nobody. Yep. But if you want to narrow your target audience, we can do it pretty quick. First of all, they have to have the ability to even give $1 a month. So these are like good details to know. Everybody watching about your target audience, that means they have a credit card. Secondly, chances are they probably give to other charities. Like if you want to sell a book, aspiring authors, it is almost impossible to sell a book, and it's probably impossible to somebody who's never bought a book. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like it just, because they don't buy books. So, but the person who does buy books is like me, and he's got like 400 books under his desk right now. So chances are you're going to be able to sell me another book, like, because people do every day, because I'm into books. So like they have a credit card and can give $1. They can, you know, they probably give to other charities. Mm-hmm. Or assuredly they do. They're like already people who actually give their money. And like same thing. This will happen to, like something touches our heart. Like we give away a lot of money. Somebody is like, hey, do this thing. I'm like, okay, like let's. And so because there's, and then that's another one. Then it's like demographics. Is it millennials? Of course, it could be wider than that, but is it females or males? Is it like you want to start small to get big? And so Seth Godin is a guy I'd recommend studying a little bit, but he always says, actually try to find the smallest viable market ever. Before you do 1 million people giving $1 a month, you got to do 100 giving $1 a month. Then you got to do 1,000 giving $1 a month. Yeah. And what's that smallest, you know, again, like churches, people of faith, like generous people who are already, so you maybe think, and then you might think a particular local church or particular denomination, or it could be something else in regards to like philanthropy or people that are, so we go into that in some of our other trainings and stuff, but that's target audience. That's like where you really drill down into some of those details, which then potentially helps you architect the type of content that will attract that target audience, that will build influence, period. And once influence is built, then it can lead to income and impact. And that's why, you know, our video influencers tagline, we always say like, help you build your influence, income, and impact, because it is linear like that. It is actually, people need to know you first, even if it was on Think Media and they know Sean, they know Heather, they know Omar. And it's like, hey, do you want to be a part of this nonprofit? No, but someone else goes, yes. And then that leads into the money for the impact and the change. Is that helpful?
Yeah, no, that was great. And I don't want to take anybody else's time. I want to let people get in. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. Appreciate the time to talk with me.
Love what you're doing, Matt. Love your heart for the world, and grateful you're a part of our community. And thanks for coming on Coffee with Cannell.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good one.
I am Sean Cannell. This is Coffee with Cannell. If you're just joining, this show is on the Think Marketing YouTube channel, which is our new channel. Did you know we have a video podcast and a podcast? Did you know we have a new channel? You're like, I'm watching it right now. Well, I appreciate you being here. And all 2021 long, we are dropping every Tuesday. We call it the Tuesday Ritual. We're dropping episodes. This week's episode was 10 business and YouTube lessons I learned from 2020. The host of the Think Marketing podcast is the incontrovertible Heather Torres, and she hosts that podcast. We have guests on. We talk with the Think Media team. I do solo rounds. She does solo rounds. The vision of the podcast is to help you not just build a successful YouTube channel, but to build a business around that YouTube channel. It's really like the YouTube startup. They're startup companies. YouTube is the greatest traffic generator, so many different ways to monetize. And it goes deeper because if you're really going to thrive on YouTube, you, I believe, need to master modern marketing, content creation, and business and online business. So if you want a place where you can go deeper into those topics, those concepts, head to Spotify, head to Apple, head to Google, and subscribe to the Think Marketing podcast. Have you listened to it yet? Have you heard an episode? Did you know we have a podcast? Are you already subscribed? Let me know in the comments. Hit like if you're having fun on Coffee with Cannell today. Let me know a question or topic you would like us to cover on the Think Marketing podcast. And that, my friends, is our new channel. It's a year old, 24,000 subscribers in a year. Like, what a year. Kind of a year of experimenting, getting going. And then our main channel is called Think Media. And maybe you've heard about Think Media before. This now is a team brand, a media company with Omar and Nolan and Heather and Tony and myself, creating content to help you really with the best tools like cameras, live streaming, gear, software, and as well as YouTube strategies. If you want a little snook it, like, what the heck? What's a snook it? I meant nugget, chicken nugget. Dang, I'm so hungry. I got to go to the bank in a second. So I do got to bounce soon. Like, just like a flex. Like, does that mean that like, I got to go to the bank. But this whole shorter strategy is kind of how we think about Think Media. I mean, we put some long johns on here for sure, but I don't think we haven't put a video out that's over an hour long in like forever. So when we talk about, and if you're just joining, watch the beginning with the 3 tips, but notice a lot of 7s, a lot of 8s, a lot of 9s. And this next year, we're going to be we're hitting the 2s, 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And so think about that shorter versus longer videos. And hey, YouTube Shorts, we got some new content coming out on that soon as well. Have you tried YouTube Shorts yet? Are you wearing shorts right now? Or is it colder where you are? That's right. We got Heather Torres in the chat today. A snippet plus a nugget is a snugget. Hashtag snugget. Have you tried YouTube Shorts? Let me know. What do you think about them? Ella says, yes, subscribe. Thank you so much for being subscribed. 7 Souls Paranormal. Thanks so much for sharing all of this with us. You're welcome. Appreciate you being a part of the community. Thanks for being here. And we'll bring a couple more people on the show here before we land the plane. Will changing titles and thumbnails renew interest in old videos? It's not a bad idea, but the only way you're going to be able to renew interest in old videos is potentially if you're still getting some level of search and discovery or some level of impressions, aka reach. What do you mean, Sean? Well, I'm glad you asked. So like, this is an interesting thing because sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. So here's one of my videos, by the way, breaking my own rule at 2 hours and 5 minutes, but it's doing pretty well. Videos generated almost 12 grand, 1.5 million views. And you notice like just insane results and continued results. Okay. So you go to reach, and here's your question. You go to reach in the last 7 days. Every single day, YouTube is showing this video to 52,000 people, 61,000 people, 63,000 people. That's an impression. They have a chance to click on it. So Puko's Porch, will changing titles and thumbnails renew interest in old videos? Okay, well, this one obviously still has interest. But here's the interesting thing. Changing the title or the thumbnail of this video could actually raise this number, right? Like, it already is being seen, so it'll keep being shown to at least 40,000 people for the next couple days. And if the click-through rate goes up and the average view duration goes up, then that new title and thumbnail could actually increase this reach and all the overall results. However, I don't want to change the title and thumbnail because it's already doing well, and I might do better or it might do worse. And I don't want to mess with the good thing. Maybe I should. Who knows? Okay. Also, by the way, see how low this click-through rate is, but I wouldn't worry about that because the average view duration is high, and this video has been shown to so many dang people. Like, this video has had 26 million impressions. So when your video gets that many impressions, it's going to be a lower click-through rate. The higher the impressions, it'll drive down your click-through rate. Notice this too. For the first couple months of this video, it did all right. And then once YouTube saw, there's some watch time on this guy. Woo! What a ride that guy was. That was a party right through that era. And then it's still doing strong. And okay, so to answer your question then, it is definitely, if you're going to change a title or a thumbnail, you could change it, but you're going to maybe want to like prime the pump because you might not be getting any impressions. You should go look. But even if you're getting 100 or 10, like a new title, new thumbnail could increase click-through rate, average view duration. That's probably not going to increase average view duration, although it might, because the content didn't change. And it could really help. Or it might not do anything, or it might hurt. But what I would suggest is share it on social, repush it, because you need to get people watching it again to get YouTube kind of going on it again to see if that click-through rate improves. So on the one hand, Puko's Porch, I would say don't worry about it too much. But it may be something you want to do to say your top videos. I wouldn't worry about your losers, quote unquote, out of your last 100 videos. I actually might re-optimize your most popular videos and or your most relevant videos. Maybe you have a good like search-based how-to video with like just kind of a boring thumbnail. And let's say you were doing cooking and it really was just much more vibrant, much more clickable with maybe much more of an inviting title. I think that also most people who go through the YouTube starter kit, like go, oh my gosh. And they have to, but they go back and change a lot of old things because they were doing things quote unquote so wrong. Like titles were just flat, not clickable. And definitely if like, maybe the way to put it is not trying to make like a good or great title even greater, but if it's a bad title, you definitely should make it at least good. And so some of those tweaks could happen. But I think your next video will be your best video. The future is forward. Always be thinking about probably your next video the most. And especially, let me give you one strategy that'll break this kind of down. You put out new videos, you keep growing, you get more subscribers. Eventually you have a community tab. Once you have a community tab, you should be using your community tab to re-promote older videos. Once you have a community tab, if you're using it to re-promote your older videos, because your new subscribers don't necessarily know about your back library, you may want the new title on that community tab or the new description on that community tab to be more clickable. So I believe this is a great, bright little thumbnail. And this goes into the idea that actually your community tab should be a square and not a rectangle. That's a conversation for another day, but we got the link there. So we're using our community tab to promote our greatest hits all the time. Sometimes just with photography, sometimes with images, but does that make sense? You may want to do like, kind of like when they do a 10th anniversary version of a book, and it's more or less the same book, but they put a little bit of polish on it, new cover. They change the title up maybe a little, or they do like 2.0 or something, and then they re-promote it. Definitely think about running some of your old videos through that. My friend Matt Geelan had a good video about some tests they did, and they actually saw some tests where some videos went from a 4% click-through rate to a 5.5% click-through rate. Although I think you could maybe get too bogged down in that and not be worrying enough about your next video, which I believe will be your best video. Today's Coffee with Cannell is brought to you by the YouTube Strategy Workshop and the YouTube Starter Kit. Let me know if you're signed up. Are you going to be here this Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific time to 1 p.m. Pacific time? Heather Torres, Tony Ariola, we're going to be live streaming. We're going to do a whole training. Plus, if you do want to level up your titles, your video ideas, your thumbnails, money-making strategies, some cool surprise bonuses that you don't even know that are in there, you're going to absolutely love this starter kit. It's $600 of resources. It's like $800 or something, actually, because we added the training. Normally, it is a $97 on sale for $97. That's the normal sale. And that goes up in like a week. Right now, you can get it for $37. One of the absolute no-brainer decisions you can make to invest in your YouTube channel. You'll absolutely love it. And you get a ticket to our YouTube Strategy Workshop. Okay. So you're going to learn how to start your channel or grow your channel with a busy life in 5 hours or less, like the 5-hour YouTube work week plan. Heather's training on that. You can jumpstart your channel by planning a whole year's worth of content in 1 hour. Tony's breaking down some stuff. I'll be going deeper video topics. You're going to learn the exact videos you should be making in 2021. And so pretty no miss. And you can get a free ticket. It's a bonus with the YouTube Starter Kit. Link in the description below, tubestarterkit.com. you're going to love it. Check it out. Details down there. Click that up. Okay. Let's bring a couple more people on before the plane gets landed today. We got Amy, Give It a Go
Hi.
Baking. Welcome to the
Yes.
show. Tell me
Thank you.
about yourself.
I just started my YouTube channel like in October. My brother kind of is helping me. He's like, hey, you should put these little video clips of like something I do later in the video at the beginning. So I've been trying to use those as like my hook at the beginning. So my question for that is, should I do like clips that are coming and telling people what I'm going to be talking about and use like the B-roll with like over here while I'm talking?
Great question. So what we're going to do is going to watch one of your videos together.
Okay.
This is it, right?
Yeah.
Which one should I watch? Any of them?
It. One of the last two are probably the better ones.
All right, we're going to watch this one. Here we go.
Probably my favorite dessert I think I've ever tried. My husband got a wood fire pizza oven for his birthday. So today we're going to try it out and we're going to make a dessert pizza Elvis style.
Okay, so that's pretty good. First 15 seconds, a little bit of personality, a little bit of music came in, and you've promised me what's going to happen. It looks like you are showing me the final result here. But what I would suggest is working on the clarity of this. And, you know, Tony Ariola and his wife started a new channel called The Plant-Based Kitchen. And so he started studying food photography. And so these are like the thumbnails and whatnot. And because you want that first promise to be like super inviting, and food photography would also include B-roll, AKA the video clips of what's coming up.
Okay.
I think that this then also is a great opener to consider, because what he's teasing. So it's kind of exactly what you said. And my answer is yes. In the first 15 seconds here, it was like, here's what's coming up. We're going to chop it up. We're going to show you each step. We're going to show you the thing, you know what I mean? And then it's, and we're going to show you the final result. And so you're definitely onto that. But I think those are the tweaks to make, is how quickly you quote unquote lovingly punch the viewer in the face with what's coming up. Get to the point quick. And so my friend Benji on his cooking channel too, like, let's check out this intro here. Let's watch this.
Crispy, salty, perfectly delicious. That's right. French fries, everybody's favorite side dish or snack. And usually,
so I love how he did that, because he's like, oh, now I'm getting hungry. Crispy, salty, and he's showing you, and then he shows up on camera. And let's check it out.
You get this when you go to a burger joint or restaurant, but guess what? We're at home, we're cooking a lot more. I'm gonna show you the easiest way to do it. You don't even have to deep.
Easy is a really strong, powerful. I mean, you know, because that's what people want. The average person is not like, I'm going to show you how a pro chef with massive skill that is inaccessible by the average person. Like, nobody wants to watch that. Easy is a really good word.
We're going to be using the stove and baking it. You can make a big batch of this.
I think for cooking tutorials, it's important to think about the method, because there's so many different things. Like, so tantalize, you know, I want to see it. I saw the B-roll, and here's the thing. This is easy. If you're a beginner, you could do this. All you need is this thing, and this thing. And and all I'm breaking down is what you asked, is the hook. Like, what could we pack into the hook to grab the viewer and sell the viewer on watching the rest of the viewer video?
Cook other things at the same time that it's baking. So let's go ahead and get right into the ingredients. First thing is the potatoes, as you can.
And then, of course, you also might be like, what the heck, man, these guys, video production. Benji been doing this for years. You know, Cammy is married to a video production expert, you know, Tony. But those are some principles, I think, I would think. And those types of small tweaks, lead to giant
Make
peaks,
it
I think
so
could really
going
help.
to warm
What's
up
a follow-up
around
question?
100 degrees. Let me go back on my notes. So is the lower third also considered part of the B-roll?
Yeah, I think lower thirds or these titles. Yeah, that's definitely, I would consider B-roll, or just a way to hold attention. It reminds me of, like, I don't know what the dating show was. Maybe somebody can remember, like, maybe there's a lot of them where like bubbles would pop up. Like, fun fact about Tom is that he was a baseball player when he grew up. And you're like, oh wow.
On Love Connection or something like that.
Love Connection. So I mean, other things that hold attention, you're absolutely onto it. Furthermore, if you can put a list, if you could put supportive numbers on screen or amounts on screen and potentially do a split screen, you're training and showing, but they can actually see that ingredient list and maybe leave it up. Those all can enhance it for sure.
Okay, I'll learn how to do that.
What are you editing with?
My phone. It's a little app called UCut.
You're doing great. This is amazing.
I'm trying to learn how to do editing and then like promoting it. And that was one more question I had. So I follow the Johnsons for their Instagram tips. So should I spend most of my time commenting on other cooking videos within YouTube, or should I try to keep going? Like on Instagram, I started a whole nother page and try to connect with people there. Like, I don't know what is the best thing to do to grow like subscribers.
Like, what do you want to happen if by the end of 2021 you either had Instagram influence and some kind of strategy you want that's similar to what Shalene would teach over there, or 10,000 subscribers on YouTube and
YouTube.
some kind of
So that answers the question already.
Okay. So of course it's about reverse engineering and like self-awareness of knowing what it is you want to grow. In my opinion, it's difficult, if not impossible, to grow your YouTube channel with an Instagram account. Even almost it's very difficult to move audiences, period. You grow them one place, you can, but it's always such a small percentage. Therefore, the best way to grow a YouTube channel is on YouTube. And the best way to grow an Instagram account is on Instagram. And I'm all for Instagram. And we actually have Shalene's doing some training with us in February, and we're absolutely love her stuff, but it's knowing where's your focus today. So if I'm you, my strategy is, number one, really dialing in your YouTube content, and you're doing great. But I think, like, I don't love this title as a good example. Part one, I don't even know you yet. Like, what is part one? Should at least get the end of the title, if not the beginning. Making a dessert pizza. Like, I would rather see this title formulated as like dessert pizza : something parentheses part one. So that's just like the restructuring of the title. Definitely, for example, I would be, of course, doing your keyword research, and maybe like
type stuff in like that, and then I try to put those as the tags.
But the key is you research before you press record. So it's not even necessarily, yes, you could put these as tags, but this research should influence the actual content. So my point is this: by starting here, you should actually keep going deeper and actually do a, cinnamon sugar dessert pizza, or a dessert pizza with pre-made crust. And the reason that is the video that you did is because you did the keyword research first. Then furthermore, the title becomes, dessert pizza, how to make pre-made crust that is da-da-da, and being really strategic in research before you press record, coming up with the video idea, architecting the content around that. Because here's the result I'd be looking for. You're just, as we talk about in our program, Video Ranking Academy, you're one ranked video away from changing your life from business. You put out dessert pizza with pre-made crust, that video gets 100 views, 800 views, 2,000 views, 2,500 views over the next couple months. That's not unrealistic. You find the right video about the right recipe and the right topic. In fact, I'm not even like cook, but I am a YouTube video ranking expert, right?
Yeah.
And so over the years when I was perfecting my process, I would do stuff like oven baked salmon in foil. Okay.
Okay.
And 8 years ago, let's just check pounds fresh Atlantic salmon fillets, baked, oven, tinfoil pouch, recipe made easy. Here's the ingredients you're gonna need: salt, pepper, extra virgin olive oil, or light extra virgin. Okay, so 8 years ago, right? 303,000 views. Been doing this for a minute. Affiliate link in my top link to 4 Hour Chef by Tim Ferriss. Has nothing to do with the video, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. You need money for the mission. And so this video is so specific. I want you answering specific questions. I learned this recipe from my dad, stepdad, and the key is it wasn't just baked salmon. It was oven baked. So it's not grilled on a grill. It's not, you know, it wasn't just, and it was in an oven, and then it was also in foil. So the layers, it wasn't in a pan. It wasn't in a glass. I don't even know what you call things. I have no right to be teaching this video, but apparently 303,000 views. And so I just was sharing this recipe, like the only recipe I know. I know like 3 recipes, and they all turn into YouTube videos. And so, you know, that's kind of an answer to your question. There's your answer to your growth. Is the research before you press record, is the make the right videos, is over 8 years later, having 303,000 views or 35,000 views because of the way you structure your videos. Definitely improve your titles, your thumbnails, but you know, don't be overwhelmed or discouraged by that. It's getting 1% better with every upload. And like Tony said, he's like, I actually took like a Skillshare course or whatever on like food photography and like design. Like, as I think about, this is a marathon and not a sprint. So of course you're maybe hustling and really, but like, be patient, you know, think about, okay, as I'm making my 2021 plan, what skills do I want to learn this year? And I'm going to focus on one aspect of my channel. I really want to keep doing videos and get better, but I'm really going to focus on making the thumbnails better and learning Canva. And Heather has a great training. How do you do your thumbnails?
I usually now I listened to one of the podcasts. And so I started doing like pictures of when I'm baking it. And then like I put it there, and then I'll do like my face, and I'll be like, or something like that. To try to, like, I try to think about the thumbnail before I actually do the video.
Cool. Well, final tip on that too. And I think, you know, so keep leveling up, 1% better with every video. You and all cooking channels and all channels is success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. And here's what I mean. It is my opinion that you actually don't need words on your titles, and that you do not need to be you don't need words on your thumbnails, and you also do not need to be in the thumbnails. And the reason why in your niche is that data proves it. And so if we say banana, well, what's the data, Sean? Like the top performing videos. So if I look at banana pecan cake, okay, sure, you know, little black text, but actually unnecessary in my opinion. That one, little logo in the upper right, but also, and notice some fresh looking bananas, little bit of like depth of field there. What kind of phone do you have?
I think it's an S10.
Yeah, so you might have like, but I mean, with good lighting, get some natural lighting in there and get some stuff. You could take great photos on there. And so if I look at something like pizza sauce and most cooking videos, now it doesn't mean you can break any rules, but success leaves clues. Like really think about what are the top performing videos and what can I learn about them? Just a really good picture of what I'm going to get, and then a good title, you know, a great picture of what I'm going to get. An old school video that can do okay necessarily, you know, that's maybe not as good, but you know, this is 2 pizza sauces. Oh, like juxtaposition. So that also, when it comes to your research phase, think about also researching your, if you will, competitors or the other videos. Of course, craft your own style. Of course, experiment. You can do anything you want, but that is one tweak I would make. And people are after the recipe. You don't have to worry about like cutting yourself out, or, you know, you can experiment with having you in the thumbnail as well. I just don't think it's necessary. So then in my case, I'm trying to take your final dish, go outside, put it on like a table in daylight, have a little like plant kind of coming into the corner, start snapping some photos, and you're like, okay, wow, that's like a really great photo. And in a way, that might be like all you need. Maybe and take a class on free YouTube videos or something. You know, I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max or whatever. It takes pretty good photos, but nothing compared to what I edit them after. Like they're super flat. The saturation's not high enough. The blacks and they don't punch enough. You can do some sharpening. I know there's some ninjas in the comments. Let me know what photo editing apps you use here in the community. But I just use the iPhone app, and I do a little, you know, I mess with those features. So you just watch, like, put on your calendar, schedule your personal development. We call it a PDP, your personal development plan. Schedule like, okay, this coming weekend, in addition to everything else I'm going to do, for an hour, I'm going to watch videos about how to take great photos on my phone and videos about how to edit photos on my phone, so you could get some vibrant photos of your pumpkin maple macaroons.
Okay.
Was this helpful, Amy?
Yes, very, very. Thank you so much.
Hey, I appreciate you so much. And thanks so much for coming on Coffee with Cannell today.
Thank you.
Hey friends, smash like if you're getting value today. My name is Sean Cannell. This is the Coffee with Cannell show. I'm the founder of Think Media, and this is our new channel, Think Marketing, where we do this show every other week. What happens on the opposite week? Heather Torres does a show called Think Marketing Live. And you're not going to want to miss those. We're doing better at like promoting and scheduling them. Sean, when do these happen? I don't know. I mean, once a week, meaning it's not the same date or place yet, but we will do our best to schedule them like a day in advance. So make sure you're subscribed and you have notifications turned on. And then if you're able to join us for one, she also, you know, of course, brings people on. And the cool thing about Heather is she's probably the smartest digital marketing strategist in the world that I know. She's really smart with YouTube, clarity, helping people get clarity. And this is like an episode where she will do some training, and then she, just like this, will bring on guests. And so if you want to kind of figure out, man, how do I master my message? How do I master confidence? How do I find my niche? You know, how do I actually create a business plan around this? And all those types of things, plus the deep end of email marketing, paid traffic. She's incredible. And so every other week she does Think Marketing Live, and then I do the Coffee with Cannell show, and we're pumped because we, in our opinion, your first year of YouTube, by the way, for us too, like clearly because of Think Media and other things, Think Marketing is what it is. It's grown quicker, but my friends, in our first year, we consider experimental. Like we were just trying to figure out like what to do this year. Our first year of the video podcast, like, you know, there's like beta and then you launch things in alpha. I think it's a year of just beta. Like give yourself permission to experiment. Give yourself permission to figure out your cadence, figure out what works. You know, Coffee with Cannell and the Think Marketing Live show didn't even exist. That was also kind of inspired by the pandemic. And we got locked down and we're like, what are we going to do? We should hang out with people more. Like we should answer questions. We're not traveling anywhere. Like, and so that's where these things came out of experimenting. And now we sort of were like figuring out our game plan, testing different ideas. And I want to encourage you to do the same. If you're still in your first year of YouTube, and let me know, how long have you been on YouTube? How long have you been posting videos? Your first year's experimentation. Take a deep breath, relax, give yourself some grace. Don't be overly judgmental of your results at the start. And when you're really just starting, because again, we started with Think Media. You might be starting from zero everywhere. You really want to give yourself grace and patience and time to post videos, get comfortable on camera, learn the different things you need to learn, and let your first, like when you study a Mr. Beast or whoever, They do like 100 videos. PewDiePie, 250 videos. It takes time to build something great. And you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. You just got to start posting and they got to stick with it, because most people overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year, but they underestimate what they can accomplish in 5 to 10 years. And I think if you really are taking YouTube serious, you need to make a mental and heart commitment. Not that it's going to take like 5 years, but that it might. And are you willing to not take 5 years of dabbling and rarely ever posting and thinking a lot, but never taking action? No, like 5 years of actually going for it. You know, and when you look at Think Media's channel, on the lifetime of this channel, you know, now it's over 100 million views. And you look at the first 5 years, like the first 5 years of Think Media, this looks pretty flat. And by the way, flat is not that flat. Like this is 160 views a day. This is 287 views a day in 2012. Like this is daily views. So that's awesome. Like 555 views. But compared to this, it's all this blue craziness over here where things really got interesting. It's pretty insignificant in comparison. But never judge a seed by its season growing deep roots in the soil, because this was a preparation season for me. This was me learning, growing, working on my craft, you know, making mistakes, being spread too thin, working on too many different projects. Then I saw a little bit of green leaf pop through the soil right here. Ooh, 1,000 views a day. Oh man, things start getting interesting around 2015. Okay, I start seeing a little growth, a little Groot. Come on, I'm Groot. You know, little pops up, the little guy. And now I'm starting to grow. Now things are starting to happen. And now in 2016, okay, now 50,000 views a day. Like it's starting to be more interesting, 30,000, you know, and you go, okay, wow, still nobody knows who I am. But now it's like, oh, dang, Sean's like a YouTuber. Because I was like full time right in here. Okay, like right around here. But still, and then you're like, oh, shoot. And let me know how long you've been a part of Think Media. You know what I mean? Or like how long you've been watching our content. Then you step up to here. Now we're at 100,000 views a day, 128,000. So what's the point? Don't despise small beginnings. What's the point? Are you willing to just put in the work and put in the hustle? And I believe that if you get connected to smart strategies, you can shorten your learning curve. I don't believe there are shortcuts. Those can be dangerous. Like you leave the proven path and fall off a cliff. So there's smart cuts. It's a good book, by the way, by Shane Snow, Smart Cuts. Oh, that's a really good book. It tells the story of Michelle Phan, and kind of, you know, one of the YouTube greats, and a lot of other cool stories about going faster, but it's still going to take time. So I want to encourage you, be patient on the journey, be willing to commit to excellence, to commit to putting out the best videos possible when nobody's watching. Be willing to spend your season in obscurity to prepare you for popularity. Be willing to put in the work for 6 months, 12 months, 3 years, 5 years. And if you can shorten your learning curve, because people are breaking out, even in our community, they break out in 6 months, 8 months, year and a half. Dr. Eye Health, silver play button, and like multiple thousands a month, nearing 10,000, I think, of income in like 2 years. Like there's all kinds of different results. But what's really interesting is committing to, I want to say 5 years of like good videos, good titles, good thumbnails, getting better, learning marketing, learning business, leveling up, personal growth, personal development. And you might go, dang, bro, that sounds tough. Well, yeah, that's the grit that it takes to, I believe, actually step into this arena, but it's a way more practical than you think. As we land the plane today, if you haven't been studying the creator economy, a whole nother thing. And there's this article that came out. I'll link this up in the description down below. You know, there's 50 million content creators. This is a very detailed study. Okay. Now there's 1 million professional content creators on YouTube. Professional equals 6 figures a year. So this study revealed that they're making at least 6 figures a year. Now, hold the phone. Who needs 6 figures a year to live? Someone in the comments like, I do. I can't live off 6 figures. Okay, cool. Like, I don't know where you live, what the cost of living is, but just by definition, they're saying a professional YouTube creator, there's a million of those guys and girls that are earning 6 figures plus. So thousands are earning 7 figures, hundreds of thousands are using 6 figures. But then you have these 12 million amateur creators over here, and that might be where you'd find yourself. And what's fascinating to me is those that category is, you may be earning nothing. You may be earning $500 a year, $5,000 a year, and you may be earning 10 grand a year. But the vision I want to cast as we start thinking about, because basically this whole article breaks down how bright the future is for the creator economy, how it's only going to continue to grow, how it is the, listen, and I quote, fastest growing small business type. Like, this is a real business, and this can be really practical. Now, you could take me out of context and be like, Sean's just saying it's easy to, you never heard me say that, but I am saying it's practical. And I am saying that there's a whole group and opportunity available for those that are willing to really commit, invest the grit, the persistence, the perseverance, the humility to admit they don't know everything, and to work on leveling up day by day by day, because they see a vision, they reverse engineer a plan and a path, and they just put in the work and hustle. And the thing is, a lot of people start, very few sustain. So a lot of people will give it a go. I tried 5 videos. I tried 30 videos. I tried 50 videos. I tried 100 videos. I tried it for a year. Now, I'm also not saying that there's never a time to actually say, like, it's not really working, or I don't vibe with it, or like I can't balance it with family. Like, avoid the extremes, right? It could take, not that I feel the need to defend myself. Maybe I've been accosted in the comments too. Like, of course you can take it all out of context, but the point is, if you really think, okay, this is a business, this is a small business type, this is a real economy, there's billions of dollars, this article reveals, flowing into creators, software, money, finance. It is a massive, it's the fastest growing small business type. So you go, okay, what's my business plan? What is my plan? How am I approaching this? And are you approaching this? If you and your spouse, or you by yourself, or you and a friend opened up a local coffee shop, you and a friend opened up a local fitness gym, opened up a local CrossFit, if you and a friend opened up a local juicing store, if you and a friend opened up a local insurance agency, you're not working on that freaking business 2 hours a week. You're not lazily showing up unshowered, not ready for work, with your office clean and your front desk ready to grind. And so you're going to show up to that business, and come hell or high water, you're going to work on that thing. You're going to hustle on that thing. You're going to be a professional on that thing. You're going to turn pro on that thing. And you're going to work on it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years. And they say the average business owner only becomes like profitable and can take his head above the water a little bit after 5 years. That it actually takes 5 years of grit and hustle in any business, real estate agent, whatever, not until you can pay the bills necessarily, but until you even have any of the amenities or luxuries of a business owner. Meaning there's a little bit of automation. There's a little bit of, like, not just trying to make ends meet until the month ends. There's a little bit of stability in your business. Are you willing to put in the hustle for the next 5 years? Can you give me 3? And are you willing to treat it like a real business? Treat it like a real professional. Treat it like you're actually serious. Treat it with the respect it deserves, with how many people actually want to be a part of the creator economy. A lot of people want to do this because it's freaking amazing. And I really believe that with the right plan and the right strategy and the right mindset and the right hustle, and you find the right niche and you identify your strengths and you play to your strengths, that it can be very practical. Do I think everybody will become a millionaire from YouTube? No. Do I think the majority of people can earn an extra $5,000 a year, an extra $18,000 a year, or make a $35,000 a year income in the long tail of YouTube opportunity? 100%. Read the article. I'll link it up in the description down below, and let me know, what's your goal on YouTube? Is it your goal to go full-time? Is it your goal to make just some part-time income? Are you building a hobby channel? Let me ask you, do you think of yourself as a business on YouTube, or do you think yourself as just like a content creator treating this like a hobby? Let me know. And one of my favorite quotes, if you are thinking about a mindset shift, okay, when it comes to this YouTube thing, is from Jay-Z. And if you're a YouTuber, this is you, okay? I'm not a businessman. I'm a business, comma, man, right? Like, you're a business. And when you think about the creator economy, there's definitely, it's moving from dabbling to dominating. It's moving into the mindset needed, Adam, right? I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. So we got goals here. We got Amy. My goal is to supplement my income for my family, trying for it to be a business. And Amy, again, like on the other side of execution, we've talked. This is a real thing. Meaning, after a year, I think you could be at 10,000 subscribers, maybe more, but I think you could be 10,000 by the end of 2021. I think from just seeing your channel, and by the way, on the other side of a freaking lot of work and hustle and intentionality, not necessarily the amount of hours, but the amount of work you put into the hours, the amount of strategy you put into the hours. Of course, it's going to take time. But Heather, this Saturday, is talking about the 5-hour YouTube work week. So it doesn't have to be, there's different ways to approach it. But a lot of people, Kirby, full-time business, mapping the mind of God, full-time. Milena, my goal is to build my personal brand. It's awesome to see all these different goals that you have here. And let's see. Does the starter kit help with building a media kit? No, but, and I'm not saying like if you get it, it does not cover that. It's still worth it and beyond 10 times. So tubestarterkit.com. However, we are always up, just like we update Video Ranking Academy. We're always updating things. I love that idea. We could, Heather, let's like just, sometime in 2021. And by the way, like when you invest in a program like the starter kit, they've even seen people that have jumped in the starter kit over time, you get the updates, you get the upgrades to it. So there's already one thing I'm going to be adding to it in like the next month. And so I will absolutely collect our best information about building a media kit, really, in brand deals, and throw a resource in that. But it's not there right now, just for clarity for that. So hobbyist wanting to go full-time, monogramming plus. So I love your vision and everything you've been sharing. And Melina says, I've been learning, or Melina, how to treat it as a business. Awesome. I really appreciate that. I want to say thanks for the super sticker from Tuber Tips. Thank you so much for that. I can see that in StreamYard now. What a crazy world we live in. That is crazy. And I want to, again, thank you for being here today. What is your goal, fam? Share it in the comments. What's your goal with YouTube as we land the plane? Thank you for hanging out today, friends. We will do more Coffee with Cannells in the future. Today's episode is brought to you by the tubestarterkit.com. If you're just hearing about that, link in the description down below for all the details of our special. That's ending in like 7 days or less. So if you want to get over 90% off of the YouTube starter kit and a free ticket as a bonus to our YouTube strategy workshop that is coming up in just a few days, there will be a replay. But it's 4 hours this coming Saturday, depending on when you're watching this. tubestarterkit.com. Hit like if you got value out of the video today. Once a week, bringing you Coffee with Cannell. Once a week, bringing you the Think Marketing live show. 5 videos a week on our channel, Think Media. I appreciate you. Want to wish you a happy new year. Happy holidays. Thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for every like, every comment. If you're a VRA member, thank you. If you jumped in the starter kit, thank you. If you're here and you hear my voice, thank you. If you've, clicked the dislike button and dropped some criticism, thank you. I just want to say it matters to me and is meaningful for me that you would share a little bit of your attention with myself and the Think Media team. I really do appreciate you. I respect you for being a person who's investing in yourself, leveling up. You're not watching a 1 hour and 57 minute and 38 second stream if you're not into growth, into becoming a better person for tomorrow, which also tells me that you're a role model and a leader, and that you're probably a pillar for those around you. You're probably someone that others depend on and that others look to for strength, and that is fighting for yourself, your family, your future. And so I just want to say, I respect you for doing the work. I respect you for investing in yourself. I respect you for being a part of our community at whatever level. And even if we never get to talk again, I hope that you feel love and kindness and gratitude from me on this live stream today, or if you happen to be watching this on the replay. I'm grateful for you. 2020 was tough. Let's make 2021 amazing. And even if we face many more crises, which we might, never forget that hidden in every crisis is opportunity. And it's kind of like what they say, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. It's not about your resources. It's about your resourcefulness. It's about what you do with what is coming your way. And I believe together in the Think Marketing brands and community, we're going to work together to make 2021 the best year ever and help you get results on YouTube if you're looking to build a high impact and high profit channel. My name is Sean Cannell. This has been Coffee with Cannell, and I will see you in the next video.